all the gods in all the universes have conspired, transpired, and inspired so that I may have a bit of overcast sky right now and some shade because the heat is unbearable. And that's a thunder. Thunder! I hope I don't get a good. I hope I'm not gonna get flagged for that. Okay, just a quick ramble in the Brambles. I had an idea because I was walking through the garden and I was harvesting what, in my opinion, is one of the best survival crops. And everybody right now is like, oh, survival crop this and survival crop that. And just to put it out there, I have nothing against potatoes. I love them. I think they're one of my favorite. They're a legume, right? Yeah, vegetable legume. No, legumes are beans. Vegetable. And I love carrots and I love all the root vegetables and the cabbages and the sauerkrauts, and I love that. But my mind always goes into perennials. What can I plant today or inoculate today or inseminate today and get the benefits for 10, 5, 3, 20 years. Hello, bee. By the way, the bees just love the brambles. Brambles, they're blackberries, in case you didn't know what brambles are. And I'm the one doing the rambling. So another good example of a survival crop, apart from potatoes, is asparagus. You plant it once, you wait for about 3 years, and then you harvest for 15 years. But I don't want to talk about asparagus today. What I want to talk about is mushrooms. And no, I'm not getting high on mushrooms. Unfortunately, I cannot find any magic mushrooms in my area. Why, unfortunately? That's another episode. But mushrooms. I was out in the garden today after a very big storm last night, and I harvested quite a lot of mushrooms. Specifically, wine cups or the garden giant. I think the official Latin name is Stropharia rugosa annulata, or something like that. I'll put a link in the description so you guys see what I'm talking about. It's a beautiful mushroom. It grows quite big if you don't have the slug pressure that I have here, because in my garden the slugs love mushrooms more than I do, and I love mushrooms a lot. And they can go quite big. They're quite fleshy, and they're a really good source of food and protein. You can eat them fresh, you can dehydrate or dry them and store them for winter, which is mainly what I'm doing because of the slug pressure. Is basically I have a deal with them. They get half, I get half, and sometimes they eat into my half as well. But this is not a video about complaining about slugs, but just to kind of share with you guys, don't bite me, an idea of what we can do to have as much food diversity and as much food security. Last year, when I was setting up this garden, because that's when we bought it and I started to transform it, from the beginning I knew that I want mushrooms. What mushrooms? Well, I really wanted the porcinis and the chanterelles and all of those wild mushrooms, which you can buy liquid cultures and spore logs. But you need an environment for them, because those wild mushrooms usually have a symbiotic relationship with specific deciduous trees. That's a mouthful. So I still did it. I still bought them. I planted a couple of oaks and beech trees and in the small areas of the back of my garden when I had space, with the hope in the future that those trees are going to grow big, and those mycelium networks are going to form the relationships and grow. But that's not my priority. My priority was some kind of mushrooms that can eat dead wood or dead straw or any kind of dead biomass and give me huge flushes of mushrooms. So I went for oyster mushrooms, and they're quite distracting, but I love them. For oyster mushrooms and for the wine cups. The oyster mushrooms, I inoculated them on straw, and honestly nothing came out of it. I did get a lot of ink caps instead, but I've inoculated every piece of wood chip that I had, or at least all the big piles of wood chips that I had before I spread them around, with a liquid culture of wine caps. I didn't have a lot of wood chips because they're very expensive in my area and nobody gives them away for free. So I just had enough for pathways and for the base of the fruit trees in the garden. So that's what I did. I've inoculated the wood chips. I spread it all around. I washed my hands and I waited. And a month ago, this is why I wanted to do it a month after, to make sure that they are consistent and they are producing the way they should be producing throughout the whole worm season. A month ago, after a similar quite powerful storm, I started to see the first flush. And I'll try to share. No rain, wait. I'll try to share with you guys as many pictures and mini videos that I took throughout the duration of this month. But I ate them fresh. I put them on pizza and they're delicious. I ate them in just like a normal mushroom dish, but the main way that I'm harvesting and preserving them right now is I dehydrate them. I dehydrate them and store them for winter, because I have the slug problem. So if you guys don't have any of these issues that would enjoy and attack your mushroom, I think this is a really good survival crop. You plant it once, it's perennial, and as long as it has the substrate, as long as you have wood chip or rotting wood or hugelkulturs in your garden or backyard, whatever you have, they should be producing for years to come. I think that's it. I don't want to make this too long or longer than it has to be. It was just a thought that I had and I wanted to share with you guys. It's for me especially, it was very hard to find the wine caps. I don't know why. I had to look. I live in Poland right now, so I had to look throughout the whole country to find one supplier that had any type of spores. I went with the liquid culture just because that's what they had of the wine caps. But maybe you're gonna have an easier method of finding them. I checked Amazon, I checked every online platform that you can buy all of these things, and I just found it on a private website eventually. If anybody is interested in that place, I don't have any affiliate links or anything, but I can put it if you live in Poland, of course. I know that from when I was living in the UK that you can find it on the English Amazon website, really easy, and it's not expensive. It's a very good investment. Okay, I'll stop rambling. I'm in love with mushrooms of all types and shapes and sizes, and it's the beginning of July right now when I'm recording this video, and this is when the proper mushroom harvesting season starts. So from now on, I'll try to go as often as I can into the forest and harvest chanterelles and porcinis. And I think I'll just dehydrate and freeze a lot of them and have them through winter, because right now I'm getting a lot of them from the garden, a lot of the wine caps just for fresh eating. And of course we'll eat some from the forest as well. But nature is always infinitely abundant and always provides more than what we need, if we know how to work with her and how to protect her. The wrong idea that you shouldn't take all the mushrooms from one cluster, for example, like chanterelles. When they grow maybe 15, 20, 30 in a small cluster. That idea is wrong, because what you're harvesting is just the fruit body, the flower of the mushroom. The root and all the machinery that produces more mushrooms this year and in the future years is underground. That's the mycelium. That's the root. That's called the mycelium. And it's the same with most fruit bearing or mushroom bearing fungi. There's molds and there's slimes and there's other type of fungi like yeasts, but I'm just talking about mushroom forming fungi. So you're not damaging the the organism by just harvesting all of the mushrooms from that cluster. Just take it all. If they're too small, of course, leave them for somebody else, but if they're mature and ready to be harvested, take them. I do the same with my wine cups. I'll show you a video where I have like quite a decently big one, but then a smaller one next to it. I take the smaller one as well, just because I know the slugs are gonna attack it as soon as I turn around and hope for the best. Okay, that's my cue. I'm gonna go now. Thank you very much for watching. I hope these videos find you well and you find them interesting and educative and maybe entertaining or something like that. And if that's the case, drop me a comment. Speak to me in the comments. I wanna interact with you. I want your opinion about these topics that I'm bringing up and that I'm talking with you about it. I'm talking with you about these topics because I want your opinion, not because I want to talk at you. I don't know everything. I don't know anything actually. I know jack shit, but I want to learn. This is just my observations from my tiny garden here in Poland, and knowing that gardening is relatively similar everywhere on the planet, I want your opinion on things that I don't know. Also, you can support me on Patreon if you have a bit of spare money that you could not necessarily give away, but you could invest into me so that I can do more videos that are better quality with better equipment, and that I can plant and grow more stuff in my garden so that I share with you and others interested. Also, I have a PO box, so if you have any type of seeds or I don't know, mushroom plugs, whatever you want to send me, send it to me in the PO box. I would love to make this garden into the most diverse place on the planet and grow as many things from all over the place as possible, as long as the climate allows me to. But I have a greenhouse as well, so theoretically I should be able to grow things that don't normally grow in zone 7A where I'm at right now. That's it. I even ramble in the closing statements of the videos. Thank you very much. Please support me and help me grow this channel as big as possible. Like, comment, subscribe, and that's it. Mushrooms, they are the future. They're making leather, and they're making Mercedes is now making leather for their high luxury class vehicles from mushroom. So that's something. Okay, bye bye.